July deer chores. Hopefully you're at the point now where you're just kind of on cruise control. There's not an overabundance of things that you have to do. And we're out here in one of our favorite spots, and we'll talk about this in a second, what we're doing out here in July, which is reflective of all our food plots. But really, we're using July a lot of times for our tree stand maintenance and clearing. I like July because we have so much to do in April, May, and June. By the time we get into July, we might fill water holes if it's dry. But other than that, we're planting our rut zone. But we're really getting to the point where for the bulk of July, we're on hunting things. And what I mean by that is we're changing batteries, we're putting cameras in our hunting spots, making sure they're over scrapes at our stand locations, because we want to start getting intel at our stand locations. I care less where they're at during the summertime. I only care about where they're at during the fall. So that's one of our chores, is making sure we're really set up. But one of the most important things is we're really making sure our tree stands are defined and that we're cleaning them out, that our shooting lanes are cut, we have the mock scrape, camera location if we want to set one up. And that happens in July. It doesn't matter if it's a bedding area stand, a food source stand, a travel corridor stand, a water hole stand, doesn't really matter. July is great because we have plenty of time before the season starts. Even if the season starts September 1st in your area, you have plenty of time for the deer to get used to your intrusion, and they'll be back. We don't even care about shooting videos out here this time of year in middle of July or middle of June, because any deer that we spook, they're going to be fine in 2 or 3 weeks from now, and it's a long time away from the season. So really, for hunting focus, I like to get those stand locations. A lot of green growth is taking place in July. So we can come in and clear shooting lanes and know that that's not going to be clogged or blocked by new growth by the time we get into the hunting season. It's a time outside of all our spring chores that are really important and a long list to do. So when it comes into hunting focus, we're focusing on those tree stands and then also those trail cameras. Now, we often hit drought in July. That's a time when we have to water our trees and shrubs. Our big rock tree plantings, they're doing outstanding right now. This is the best spring we've had in a long time. Last year was pretty good too, but 2 years ago was terrible. We found you need about 5 gallons of water per cutting. We've had up to 200 in 1 year, spread out over 10 areas over more than a mile. So we've had a lot to do to watering in each one of those locations. Took a long time, about a day and a half to do once a week during drought. So hopefully during July, we don't have that drought where we have to water, but that's a time where we're really starting to focus in on water too. Also, really important is July 1st, right around that time, within a day or two, we'll be planting our rut zone. Our rut zone is that combination of buckwheat, beans, heavy beans, and peas, tillage radish. That's what we establish to get that bean growth. That's a quick maturing bean, so we'll actually have a pod. We're doing that outside of fawning time. We don't want an army of does and fawns hitting that by the end of July. That's very critical. So if you did that during June, traditional bean planting time, early June, end of May, whatever it is, you're going to get an army of does and fawns. They reside on your property. We don't want that. We want those does and fawns spread out on all these ag fields, alfalfa fields, and then we plant. And when we plant, we're really focusing that planting for November. We want a high attraction November. We're planting that on half of all our big plots. So this plot right here is a little over an acre, and we're drawing a line right down the center. This upper half right here will be rut zone July 1st. And then this bottom half down here behind Dylan, this right here will divide in half. So half of this strip over here, 25% of the overall plot will be big Boost brassica. The other 25%, the other half of this leftover will be in our fall power green. So we'll have big Boost brassica, fall power, and then this half will be rut zone. No more corn. Corn takes from the soil, takes years to decompose, break down. Yeah, it's high organic matter. High organic matter is not necessarily a good thing. Kind of like this rye, if you let it get 6 feet tall, it takes years to break down, so does corn. It takes from the soil too. Rut zone puts back in the soil in several different ways, including the beans with nitrogen, the buckwheat with fine organic root soil or root mass, tillage radish for putting nitrogen back in the soil for the following year, lifting up the soil, avoiding compaction. And the peas are another legume, so you're getting more nitrogen in the soil. So it's a builder, but it's high attraction. We're replacing our corn with it because we really want to focus on November and not early January, which is what the corn did. That does us no good. So we're looking at rut zone being established then in July. And then towards the end of July, about July 20th, We'll spray our plots, roll our buckwheat that's left, which will be right down here. You can see all our beautiful buckwheat growing out here. It's incredible. It's at that time where it's really starting to take off. But end of July, about July 20th last year, July 20th or 21st, just heard a rooster over here, pheasant, which was cool. But this lower half right here will smash and roll and plant. The rut zone will have to be drilled. That's the only bad thing about it. You can till it in and cultipack it, but it has to be worked into the soil. The Big Boost Brassica and our Fall Power does not. So we'll smash this down, give it 10 days, and then we'll plant into more open soil. Or some good examples of what we did last year where 9 days later, 10 days later, it's basically brown and there's 90% soil exposure. So it breaks down, we get the seed on the ground, that dead and dying thatch aids in germination, and we'll get a good catch. So, you know, planting our fall crops, that starts around July 20th. The rut zone starts July 1st, and we'll have that standing buckwheat. I would guess in 2.5 weeks, this buckwheat will be somewhere in this range. And when we wait 3 weeks later, that buckwheat will be right around here. Somewhere in there. The more the better. We don't have to worry about the height for planting into because we plant about 9 days later. So this buckwheat that's right here, we'll kill and drill the same day. We'll probably kill it with Liberty in case there's any stubborn broadleaves. This is actually pretty good with weeds, and that'll establish it. We're getting the tree stands taken care of, cameras going, water holes filled, trees watered if they need to be. And I want to point out this really quick. You know, we have our specific products. You can check them out on Pure Wildlife Blends. But this right here, this field, we believe in these rotations a lot. We're using cover crop rotations ×3 each year. Rye in the spring. Look how well the buckwheat's doing in it. And then buckwheat during the summer. And then our fall plantings that are really geared towards that high balance of great attraction with great soil building, and then allowing you to plant into it in the spring too. So we're really getting that great rotation. Even our new rut zone that we'll plant around July 1st. And, you know, that's the whole idea here. This whole plot right here used to be just like those shrubs that you see in the background where it's hiding the redneck. That's what this was. We ground it down with a brush hog. We cut down and chainsawed these smaller trees like these cherries and junk trees, threw them off to the side. We even had a couple cedars out here we threw off to the side. We sprayed this, sprayed it again, planted tillage radish, sprayed in the fall, planted our fall crops. We planted corn here. We've done really well here with these rotations and never disking, plowing, or tilling of any kind. That's something I've done for decades. You take a field like this, doesn't matter if it was all grass, that first spraying, that first cutting is the most important because you don't want weeds and growth to get 2-3 feet high. That's all debris you have to plant into later. But you're spraying, getting the soil prepared, meaning getting it weed free. And then we're using no-till options for seeding blends. And we never have to till, disc, or plow. Think of the balance that you have. Yeah, you use chemicals. We use chemicals as little as possible. With the rotation, allows us to use fewer chemicals. But you're thinking about, look at this slant on this field right here. If we till, we erode the soil. That's why all the topsoil is down there in these farm fields all over because of 150 years of deep tillage. We stop that here. We have switchgrass and screening on the high side. We're avoiding erosion. We're improving the soil because everything is going down, fine organic matter, or the actual rotting husk of the tillage radish lifting the soil. So we're improving the soil, avoiding erosion, maintaining the soil moisture in here, and then offering a great balance for rotating crops and forever putting back into the soil. And we will never have to till and disc this even that first year. Some people say, well, even on that first food plot, you should till and disc. No, you don't have to. I've done that for literally decades, not tilled the soil. And that's always been my best option for controlling weeds and improving, because you're really only working on that top inch or two of topsoil. I don't want to plow down 9 inches and bring up a bunch of garbage, risk erosion and everything else. So that's the history of this plot right here. Dylan, I want to say this is our 4th planting season.
Sounds right.
With this right here. I believe 2022 was the first one. So yeah, this is our 4th planting year with this this plot, and we have plans to never till or disc or plow this. So hope you enjoy what we're doing in July. There's a lot that you can take to your own property. Keep on focus for hunting season, and hope you're doing great. You have a lot done like we do. We feel like we're coasting through July, and we can't wait to get our rut zone in about 2 weeks.